children by their husband and father. The father purchased the rifle used in the crime at the local gun store 2 days earlier. This brutal killing took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon. Don't touch that dial now. We're just getting started. Retrieved the rifle and shot his wife as he was cleaning up the kitchen. You can't trust the tap water. The old son came to investigate the commotion. The father shot him too. His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom, but reports suggest he lured her out by telling her it was just...
The only me is me. Are you sure the only you is you? PT, a playable teaser demo released on Sony's PlayStation Network back in August 12th of 2014. Was said to be an upcoming survival horror title by a relatively unknown studio by the name of 7780s Studios, which turned out to be somewhat of a ruse, as the teaser was actually developed and released by Kojima Productions, and later was actually revealed as Silent Hills.
The killing took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon. The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was cleaning up the kitchen after lunch. When his 10-year-old son came to investigate the commotion, the father shot him too. His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom, but reports suggest he lured her out by telling her it was just a game. The girl was found shot once in the chest from point-blank range. The mother, who he shot in the stomach, was pregnant at the time. Police arriving on scene after neighbors called 911 found the father in his car listening to the radio. Several days before the murders, neighbors say they heard the father repeating a sequence of numbers in a loud voice. They said it was like he was chanting some strange spell. There was another family shot to death in the same state last month, and in December last year, a man used a rifle and meat cleaver to murder his entire family. In each case, the perpetrators were fathers. State police say this string of domestic homicides appears unrelated, though it could be part of a larger trend such as employment, child care, and other social issues facing the average family.
Silent Hills was meant to be a new installment in the Silent Hill series. This was only revealed after the player successfully completed the playable teaser. Unfortunately, it's a masterpiece we never got to see come to fruition, due to Hideo Kojima's falling out with Konami back in 2015. After this, Konami canceled the Silent Hills project after Kojima left the company. It was meant to be the official 9th installment into the Silent Hill gaming series, and was being directed by legendary gaming director and creator Hideo Kojima, as well as the renowned horror movie mastermind Guillermo del Toro. Konami brought Hideo Kojima onto the project back in September of 2012, as the Silent Hills playable teaser began production and would later release in 2014 as a free-to-download playable teaser to Silent Hills, which was the game that was being produced alongside Del Toro and actor Norman Reedus. PT used a first-person perspective, which was going to be a new feature in the Silent Hill series, as the previous titles all included a third-person over-the-shoulder perspective, as well as fixed camera angles. The game centers on an unknown protagonist who awakens to a haunted house of sorts, where supernatural things begin to happen. The only action the player is given are to walk and to zoom as the player explores a continuously looping corridor of this house, while strange and horrific things happen to and around the player while solving some very detailed puzzles.
Reality. The only me is me. Are you sure the only you is you?
PT received high praise by not only gaming journalists, and reviewers, but also fans of Silent Hill series, and fans of survival horror games in general. As the game sets a pretty simple premise of reusing the same corridor, looping over and over, while also changing in various ways. The playable teaser gave us some of the best atmospheric tension we as gamers had experienced to that point. And after its cancellation would spark inspiration in other games such as Resident Evil 7 and a game by the name of Visage, which is a spiritual successor to PT. It's clear that this new Silent Hills game was going to be much different in comparison to the previous installments in the series. Although I can see a little inspiration that Kojima might have had from Silent Hill 4's formula of having the game include first-person perspectives and the addition of having unkillable enemies such as ghosts and the hauntings that occur. Although this is, however, my own personal thoughts on PT, I'm sure Kojima had other inspirations and visions for what he wanted this game to be. After Konami canceled Silent Hills in 2015, the game was pulled from the PlayStation Network and was no longer available for download. To this day, the only way to play this playable teaser is by having it still pre-downloaded on your PS4 console, or by purchasing a rare PS4 console that has the game on it, which can be very costly, as you can see online. As you have seen, the player continuously explores the looping hallway as you are encountered by a hostile female apparition, presumably named Lisa. While it is possible to avoid the ghost completely, if the protagonist is attacked by the ghost, he will reawaken in the area at the beginning of the teaser, beginning the loop once again. The objective of this teaser is to solve the mysterious puzzles while exploring the haunted, repeating corridor, some of which are difficult. Different radio dialogues give insight into the horrific things that have presumably taken place in this particular location. One could only imagine what Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro had in store for this title, as this playable teaser is considered by many to be some of the most terrifying atmospheric horror to date. I don't truly know what exactly Silent Hills would have been, but I know for one, I was really excited for this game until it was heartbreakingly canceled.
You got fired, so you drowned your sorrows in booze. She had to get a part-time job working a grocery store cash register. Only reason she could earn a wage at all is the manager liked how she looked in a skirt. You remember, right? Exactly 10 months back.
Silent Hills, in my opinion, was set to be one of the most terrifying games ever released. The buzz that PT generated was exceptional, and to this day, fans keep the rumor mill buzzing with hopes that this title will make a comeback, with many suggesting it may still be in the works by another developer. But sadly, none of which has been seen to be true. Silent Hill fans still hunger for a new installment in the series. But, however, Konami still has the series held captive, with no new announcements of a new game coming anytime soon. Fans are left with only mere speculation. I know PT isn't really considered retro, but it follows the formula for my previous videos as a retrospective. Retrospective only really means to look back on or to deal with past events. As to this date, I do not remember being as excited for a game as I was for Hideo Kojima's Silent Hills. What could have been? Hideo Kojima being my favorite game developer, and Silent Hill being my favorite survival horror series, it was a match made in heaven. For me anyways. Only to be cancelled. And fans to be let down by Konami. I hope you guys have enjoyed looking back on Silent Hills and what might have been, but never was. This has been Silent Hills, a retrospective.